Thanks for tuning in for another Tailgate Pad Tuesday, where we have teamed up with our friends at Competitive Cyclists to bring you the Tailgate Pad Review Series. Be sure to use code LOAMWOLF15 at checkout on competitivecyclist.com for 15% off any applicable item. If you haven't been following along, click subscribe down below to go back and see the rest of the reviews on other tailgate pads in this series and join our text group. Numbers down below, text us, keep me updated. That's it, that's all you gotta do. Subscribe to the channel, text us, keep me updated, and you're in. Today we will be talking about the Basecamp tailgate pad from Cache. Quite frankly, this is the most unique pad on market. We've got a few things to say about it. The Basecamp tailgate pad from Cache comes in at $229.99. It is 50 inches wide and a one-size-fits-all pad. Well, diving right in, the Basecamp tailgate pad is very unique looking. The exterior is a polyurethane nylon, and underneath it has a nice tight weft microfiber felt backing, which is great on your paint. With that 50-inch width and the one-size-fits-all, on smaller trucks, this piece right here will actually fold up and under to give it the right length coming down the front of the tailgate on a mid-size pickup. To secure this pad to your truck, there are 2 contact points on the outer edge with that nylon webbing. Conveniently, you actually run the straps in from the back side and hook them on the front, making it a lot easier to install and put it on your truck. In the middle, we have a very, very large giant lock on here, which is kind of a cool feature. I don't know many people that have had their tailgate pads ripped off, but that lock on there will be one deterrent to keep this on your pickup. Also, it's a great point of contact to run a cable lock through to maybe hook through your wheels, as you might not have a cable lock or any other lock for that matter long enough to reach from the inside of the truck on anchor bolts. This is the second rendition of the Cache Basecamp tailgate pad. The first version of this pad, the lock here was actually on center, which prevented this bubbling. However, I did notice that I had bubbling between both. It being such a thin pad, you do notice that it has some flex to it. That's just one thing that kind of drives me a little crazy, and I would like to see definitely another contact point there to help keep it strapped down. On the back side of this pad, we see 2 rows going full length of a daisy chain kind of nylon webbing. This is the mechanism that you will use if you were to upgrade to the Basecamp system. More on that later. When considering bike retention, we have a nylon kind of elastic strap with 2 carabiners that run through a center loop to connect all the way across. So you kind of have 2 different dividers with this strap to keep your bikes down. As far as bike protection goes, the pad itself is all one thickness, and from the backside, it wraps over the tailgate and you kind of line up this seam. So similar to the Census pad with that continuous pad, although thinner, it does act the same way to relieve pressure as your down tube sits on the corner of the tailgate. For the forks, that same foam padding has been put into a mold to create these ribs, and they are hollow behind it, so you could push all the way through it, but they are molded to stick out, and they provide relatively good protection as you put the bikes on there. The Basecamp tailgate pad is rated for carrying up to 4 bikes, and that would be partitioned into these 2 sections. Trying to add more than 4 bikes to this pad due to that 50-inch width, you are likely to see a lot of bike-on-bike violence. A new feature we see in the second version of this pad is this access panel. The sizing of this port is very similar to that of the race face. It's well placed and will accommodate many tailgates. Of course, you are totally welcome to remove this pad entirely and just keep it out of the way, but if you are looking to shuttle those 4 bikes, that extra protection could help you to fit the bikes the best possible way. Now, between all the testers, we have pretty mixed impressions on this pad. Personally, I think it's one of the coolest pads on test, and I like its kind of rugged feel and design. The previous version of this pad was on my truck for a very long time, just by coincidence, and the fact that I never felt the need to really have to remove it to get a different pad. It did its job extremely well, and when it came to throwing even kayaks and a canoe, pieces of plywood and lumber, I didn't quite feel like I was damaging the pad, and they even say on their site that it is rugged and multi-use for that matter. As mentioned before with the strap design, the fact that they loop in and drop down from the backside makes installing this pad the easiest out of every tailgate pad I've ever tried. It is so much easier to fish those straps out with the tailgate up than trying to have it down and do the dance. One of the other things that I find really neat about this pad is its modularity. Not only can it adapt to different tailgates by being able to fold this piece up, but on that backside and their full ecosystem of accessories that they offer for this pad, it kind of makes it a little bit more universal. I could see it for people that definitely do a lot of shuttling and a lot of hanging out with their friends after riding at the end of at a trailhead parking lot, that being able to fold that tailgate down and have two nice little chairs to sit on and a spot to throw your cold drinks, like, it's a nice added on feature that makes the pad functional for more than just carrying a bike. Now, of course, a tailgate pad is designed for one purpose, and that is to carry bikes. This is something that this pad is absolutely capable of doing. As we said, maxed out at 4. Good luck to you for going more than that. I personally would not do that. And even at 4, I do have my reservations. This new strap system they have is extremely convenient, and this bungee-like strap that you can tighten down and cinch through weaves through that center point, clips on the other side. But the problem that I find with this is that this carabiner is very aggressive, and it can definitely rub on your bike if it tended to walk over. Now, if you were fitting 4 bikes on there, likely you would have a bike fully dished to either side, which means that this carabiner will be resting directly on your down tube. Now, like I said, I did run the first version of this pad for a very long time and have used this pad quite a bit as well. And I haven't noticed much motion or rubbage on the bikes, and I feel like it does a pretty good job at protecting them. Unfortunately, this pad is really thin, and that polyurethane nylon is very slick. Maybe you can hear it. And so putting most bikes on there, they tend to slide, and they don't have a foam to really collapse and cradle into. So taking those corners extremely fast and bumpy dirt roads, you will see bikes kind of walk around a little bit. This strap system will keep the pressure down on them, but you will still see them slide back and forth because there isn't a separator between each bike. Overall, the Basecamp tailgate pad is one of the most durable pads that we've tested. It is extremely unique looking. It's extremely modular, the adaptability. It's a very universal pad with a lot of ideas in motion, from this extended nylon webbing strap here and the daisy chain loops on the back for their accessory system kit, and even the removable access panel. Like, there are a lot of things going on, and I think that's cool. I think that's unique. Unfortunately, I do feel like it's a little bit of a miss when it comes to the functional application of putting your bikes in. And the big thing for me is just the retention aspect here of what it's gonna do to your bike if it happens to walk all the way over here to the edge. For me though, if I were to be shuttling more than 4 bikes, I would want to see a wider tailgate pad because I want to use the full coverage of the tailgate. Well, there it is, the Basecamp tailgate pad from Cache. It is a very unique pad, very modular, lots and lots of things going on with it. I just think for $229, it's a little pricey, but if you're a person that wants it or you like the way it looks, it's gonna be a great pad. It's gonna do its job. Just pay attention to how far over your bikes get, and that's probably the only thing that I would say to be mindful of and how well it will perform. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we want to say thank you to our friends at Competitive Cyclists and remind you to use code LOAMWOLF15 at checkout at competitivecyclist.com for 15% off any applicable items in your cart. And don't forget to join our text group. Down below is the phone number. text us, keep me updated to join, and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're giving these pads away. We got too many of them, not enough trucks, and a lot of these brands and competitive cyclists were awesome enough to give us more than we needed so we can do this series, and they knew that we were gonna stoke people out and get rid of these pads and send them off to a new home. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.